Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're sort of bridging the technical and the philosophical. We're looking at epistemology, there's the theory of knowledge, and its partner, fallibilism. Basically why absolute certainty in cybersecurity is, well, a bit of a myth, and how knowing that actually helps.
Yeah, exactly. It's fascinating how these aren't just, dusty academic ideas. They really hit the ground in your day-to-day work. We want to show you how to evaluate information, really understand the limits of what you know, and how this thinking shapes everything, interpreting logs, attributing attacks. It's about knowing your certainty level and communicating that honestly.
Okay, let's break that down. Epistemology first. It's the study of knowledge, right?
Uh-huh.
What it is, how we get it, its limits. So in cyber, that means asking, okay, how sure are we about this intrusion?
Precisely. And fallibilism builds right on that. It's this principle that, well, no belief can ever be 100% conclusively proven. There's always that possibility of doubt. But listen, this isn't about being indecisive. It actually pushes us towards continuous learning and adapting and having a healthy skepticism, especially in a field like ours that moves so fast.
Right, so if nothing's totally certain, how does fallibilism change how we actually do cybersecurity? You mentioned a static, overly confident approach being flawed. How so?
Well, think about it. Threats change constantly, so our knowledge is always kind of provisional. A rigid approach just doesn't work. Take incident response. Those pre-made playbooks, they often fall apart under, real-world pressure. Someone called it the fog of incident response. It becomes less about following steps and more about building muscle memory. You need to adapt. I've definitely seen that in action.
That makes a lot of sense. Building muscle memory, not just protocol.
Yeah.
And it makes you think about our tools, even the best ones, like In-Case, FTK, X-Ways Forensics, great for gathering data, analysis, hashing. But they don't just hand you the TTPs, the attacker's methods, on a plate, do they?
No, not at all. That interpretation, that still requires human expertise. The tools give you pieces, but you assemble the puzzle. And identifying those TTPs, let alone attributing them, that whole process is just inherently complex. It's fraught with uncertainty. You've got false flags, shared tools making groups look alike, complex multi-stage attacks. Getting absolute certainty is nearly impossible.
Okay, but here's a thought. If we're always talking about uncertainty, does that risk making us look like we don't know what we're doing? To leadership, maybe?
That's a fair question. But cybersecurity isn't black and white, is it? Risks are on a spectrum. Think about malware from annoying adware right up to crippling ransomware, or attacks simple phishing versus, say, a sophisticated APT. Acknowledging that spectrum, being honest about the level of certainty, actually builds more trust, not less.
I see what you mean. It reminds me a bit of the legal world, the burden of proof. They have different levels, reasonable suspicion, beyond a reasonable doubt. They deal in degrees of certainty, too. So, operating in this nuanced reality, how should we talk about our findings?
It comes down to careful language. When you're not 100% sure, avoid definitive statements. Use words like potential, appears, likely, presumably. It's not weakness. It signals intellectual honesty, rigor. It builds trust, prevents that FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and helps create what you might call epistemic humility in the organization. Because miscommunication, that can cause real problems.
And for sharpening that critical thinking, there's a great resource, Eugene Spafford's Cybersecurity Myths and Misconceptions.
Yeah.
Really helps you question assumptions, spot biases like confirmation bias, and just analyze things more rigorously.
Absolutely. It helps you put fallibilism into practice by challenging your own potential misconceptions. Strengthens your foundation.
So wrapping this up for you, the listener, embracing these ideas, epistemology and fallibilism, it means accepting knowledge is provisional. That makes you more adaptable, more resilient, and ultimately more credible. It's really about building trust through clear, honest communication.
Yeah, and that leaves us with a question for you to think about. How could applying this consciously questioning assumptions, maybe using more probabilistic language, change your next investigation or even just your next conversation? How could it better prepare you?
Stay curious, stay critical, and keep diving deep.